Hello GDQ, I'm Nacho Brado, and I will be submitting Pac-Man World to any percent for AGDQ 2018. We'll go ahead and get started. 3, 2, 1, go! So this game starts on the new game, and ends on the final hit of the final boss. Our main method of transportation is our rev roll, which you see here. And that's what we're primarily using. Now that first stage was just an introductory stage. This is kind of the hub world of the area. The second stage is the introductory level, which introduces you to jumping, rolling, kick flipping, etc. We'll just be doing a bit of maneuvering around here. You can jump up this hill out of a rev roll. I missed the button. And nothing too complicated here. In this version, water slows you down, but that's pretty much the only case you're going to see that in. So, yeah. And then not the level here. Now the next stage, bit tighter, a bit harder to do fast. Bunch of precise rev rolling we got to do. We'll start here at the beginning. Gotta make sure we don't fall here. Got it. Roll off that. Ah, ledge grab. That's okay. Every ledge grab. Oh, get out of my way. Okay. Well, that was unfortunate. There's a tiny bit of RNG in this game involving the enemy placements and where they move. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show off the cool strat there, but that's okay. Next level, the beginning part is cycle based, because we don't have to really worry about going too slow. Can't go too fast because of this platform here. Get right over here, and this is what we call waterless, which is not touching the water whatsoever. We use the physics of the game to bounce off this button using a rev roll. Pretty snifty. You can also do it without a ledge grab too, but it's a bit more precise to do. And pretty much covers that. Now we're getting to the first boss. We can abuse his invincibility frames with pausing. Show you what I mean here. Now he's shaking. He stops, pause on pause. I'm gonna do it again for 6 times. Now we usually stop at the 4th one here, redo our rev roll. Uh-oh. Ooh, could get this last one. Oh, nice, he gave it to me. Alright. Sometimes when you're back behind him like that, he doesn't want to give it to you. That's overall pretty good. Now we're on to the second world of the area, the forest levels. This introduces Bedouins, which when you butt bounce on them, go super high. We utilize some of these. Depending on where you're standing on the Bedouin, it tilts, so we can use that to make little ramps. Not going to utilize that much here, but in the next level we'll use it a little bit. Well, I guess we could use it there, didn't we? Move off the tree. Gotta watch out for these guys. These guys are RNG as well. You never know where they're going to be standing. Just get in your way. This one introduces saws, which obviously damage you when you touch them. And more Bedouins. And this one, we want to catch a good saw cycle so that we don't get damaged as much. Whereas if we go a bit slower, these saws will be in bad places. You're going to do a small rev roll, go over to here. Alright, good, I got there before the cycle got there. I do abuse some damage on the saws, just so we don't have to sit around and wait for them. It's all good. I'm just gonna ignore this. Oh, we won't ledge grab there. Alright, I'll show off this. Don't normally do that, but... Alright, there is a little trick called Pacifist, where... Ooh, okay. I almost didn't make that. There's a little trick called Pacifist, where if you get a good angle off that rev roll at the front, you can knock into the bear, have him knocked over, and then rev roll past him. That usually saves about a second, but because I didn't have a good angle there, I just have to kill him the normal way, which slows down. That was all on Treewood. Butane Pain involves a skip we call Chrome Ball Skip. This is the first instance of showing a Chrome Ball. Turns Pac-Man shiny. And he is invulnerable to any damage in this state. So what we're going to do is get to a certain section of the level with the Chrome Ball, but we can do the skip. Because we need full health to do it, otherwise it's nearly impossible to do so. You need to use the physics of the rev roll and the power up. Do some crazy rev rolling here. But here's Chrome Ball Skip. Basically, there's a Chrome Ball around behind that tree on the left that you would take up there. But if you're fast enough, you can just skip the entire thing and evolve and skip a bunch of the innings that you gotta take. And the ending here is basically a carbon copy of Treewood Forest. And after this, we'll be going into the second boss, Inky. In this game, for some reason, Blinky and Clyde's names are backwards with the ghosts. The red one is Clyde and the orange one is Blinky. Couldn't tell you why. They just decided to go that way. But here we're going to abuse rev rolling a little bit more. This is only on the GameCube version, we can roll into them twice. All other versions you just bounce off of them. And you gotta do a second rev roll. And boom, it's dead. Three phases, 2 hits apiece. Easy peasy. Now we're on to the third world, Ice World. Here we're going to abuse rev rolling on ice to get a further jump when we jump off the ice. And introduces a new enemy, Rev Rams. These guys are evil. They will run into you. And they go very, very far with their own rev rolls. It's annoying. We try to ignore these guys as much as we can. Also fish. But they don't get in your way as much. That was odd. They'll just be jumping on the ice like that. Also these ghosts with hats throw snowballs at you. Kinda cute. It's basically just a bunch of tight rev rolls going around the ice. If you fall into this water, it is an insta-kill. You freeze to death, so we'll try not to do that. Oh, I didn't mean to ledge grab there. Double ledge grab, no fun there. Usually it's best to get one. You can do it without any ledge grabs, abusing the butt bouncers hitboxes. But it's generally pretty tight. I missed that. My bad. We got a snow bear, we're just gonna roll past him. We don't care about him. At this next level, we get chased by a gigantic snowball. No fun. And the camera for half of the level is backwards. But, a bit Crash Bandicoot-ish. Ooh, that was close. We want to be careful of our health here, because later on in the level there's introduction of ice spikes. Or icicle spheres. So we just want to make sure if we get hit by them, for whatever reason, we have enough health to get through here. Got these gigantic ice players coming up. What we do here on the box, we rub off of them. Saves us from coming on them normally. When we butt bounce here, we slip, but that's okay. That just saves time from falling all the way back down. And doesn't hurt us, so might as well, right? Now we get to introduce wind rolling. The roll on the wind. Very fun. I wanted to land in a good place there so I can activate both those rev rams. They didn't. Okay. They were supposed to roll past me there, but they got stuck on something. And there we just skipped 2 Badooings. So I'm going to use the rev rolling into the wind a bit more. Whoa! What? Oh, don't die! I died. Okay, I didn't mean to get that kind of height on that. That was unexpected. Try that again. There we go. Okay. If I would have went a little bit farther, there was a pit right there as well. Oh yeah, similar to Mario, if you get 50 pack dots, you regain a wedge of health, which is pretty handy. We got 2 more wind rolls. One's right here. You can just stay along the wall. Okay. They're always really fun to take. Sometimes you just never know where you're going to end up at. And the last wind roll here is a bit dangerous. Alright. We'll head to the end. Unfortunate death, but that's okay. Alright, next we got Blade Mountain, which, if you've ever seen the box art for this game, that is what we're doing. We're riding on ice skates. It's really fun. Optimally, we want to hold up as much as we can, so that we can go faster. If you're turning, you lose speed. If anybody remembers playing this game and trying to 100% it, you would know that this level was a pain in the butt. Because if you missed 1 pack dot, you basically had to die and restart from the last checkpoint. 100% runs on this game is not fun with this level. But we don't have to worry about that, so we're just gonna skip all that. And just try to take the most optimal path down this mountain. You want to be able to kickflip these boxes. In this version of the game, if you run into them, they basically stop your momentum and you fall. And more than likely you're going to fall into the ice and get an insta-kill. Or insta-death. In the Japanese version, for some reason, they got rid of that, and you can just run into the boxes and lose no momentum. Very odd. Here we're going to skip this ramp, we're going to go right over this section. Hug the wall, good. Not too fancy. Now here, on this one, you want to make sure you're not going too fast, because if you go top speed, you will fall right in between that crack. Sometimes you even glitch through the water and go under the world for a bit. It's quite entertaining to see. I'm not going to show it off. But it's quite interesting. It's one of the few out-of-bounds clips you can do. But of course, you do die. For some reason in this game, if you're falling for too long, the game will think you're just free-falling and just kill you. Sometimes it's not a good... It's just bad places happens in. Generally, if you're in open air, you want to butt bounce, but you go down a bit farther. Other than that, that was Blade Mountain. Now we're going on to the third boss, Pinky. She can be a butt. She's almost exact same as Inky, except she has more health and she fires snowballs at you. Her setups are a bit different. I missed. Hello? I missed again. Okay. Well, come here then. Do the back up. supposed to hit her once there, but... Now on the third and fourth one, she has 3 hits. And we just abuse our rev roll. And knock her out. Awesome. Alright, on to the 4th world. Volcano World. Here, let's want to, at the beginning here, just catch a platform cycle. Pretty easy to get to. You can use this as a ramp. Now up here, we're going to abuse some scenery to get on a little bit of height right here. We can skip a platform that way. Okay, I forgot to press A. See, there's an example. There's free falling for a set amount of time. That was my fault. You can rev roll across these, a bit dangerous. Up here we're gonna use the butt bounce hitboxes. Skip that from falling. Yeah, this run is very heavily reliant on the rev roll. Here we can use that little piece as a ramp and skip that. And rev roll all of these. Here we gotta wait for a cycle. If you die in this final room, this platform is not in a good place. You're forced to wait. Fun fact, in the Japanese version, this room does not exist. The end of the level is just at the entrance. Pretty fun. Oh, okay. Alright. The next level is a very interesting level. Doing this casually is probably very, very obnoxious. Oh. Nice not pressing A me. What we're gonna do, we're gonna use this crumb ball. And we're gonna get... Okay, nice ping pong. We're gonna come up here. And we're gonna clip right here. Yep. We call this VP skip, or Volcanic Panic skip. It's abusing both rev rolling and the chrome boss power up. Jump all the way down to the end. Now here we have to tiptoe because the lava is still above us. Good. If you go too fast, it will kill you. That basically skips about 4 minutes, or yeah, I guess 3.5 minutes of the level. Very good. Magma Opus. More lava. Nothing crazy. We're gonna introduce a skip up here. So basically, there's a bunch of buttons in this room that you have to hit in order. You have to kill an enemy that requires a chrome ball. But we're just going to abuse physics and just skip over it. What? Oh, okay. The camera turned backwards on me. That was interesting. There, I typically try to grab a bunch of pack dots. Because if not, at the end of the level, you'll get 0%. And if you get 0% in the mashed A, just basically go to the next level. It'll re-enter you. Whereas if you have 1% or more, it won't do that. More abusing of the chrome ball. Now here we can just skip this entire slide, just jumping over the edge. And boom, there we go. Now on to the 4th boss, Clyde. This guy's fun. So unlike the bosses from before, you cannot rev roll into him. You will just bonk off of him, because he's made entirely of metal. So instead what we have to do is butt bounce him on this glass up top. And we have to wait for him to come down. Now there are ways you can get up there early by bouncing on his eyes when he dips low, but that is a very tight trick, and for a marathon like this, I will not be attempting that. Bit tricky. He goes to select platforms every time, so his cycles are pretty much predictable. I'll go over to here. I should mention, on the Japanese version, every single boss has half health. So, as you can see, I'm hitting him twice every time. Japanese, you would only have to do it once. That's what makes this boss a little bit difficult, because you have to hit him twice. When you hit him the first time, he starts running away. You have to be quick and get the second hit. This one's tricky, so we can get this. Good. Now on this phase, his hitbox is very tiny at this point, because the glass is crushed above him. You can kind of see... Yeah. Here's the first instance where he shoots 3 at once. If you're very low on health at this point, that part can be very, very dangerous. Oh, get him, get him, get him! There we go. You do not want to go on Clyde's Wild Ride, it's not fun. But awesome. Alright, on to World 5, the Ocean World. Here we just want to mash B a bunch, because that allows us to do our little spin and gains us speed. There's also a mechanic in this level called mind boosting. Basically what happens, you take damage, and while you're still blinking in your invincibility frames, you can spin into another mine. You want to get the very edge of one, and for some reason collision doesn't like you, and it'll send you flying forward. There's a few spots where we set up for it. I'll do it about halfway up here. Some of these spots aren't very good spots to do it in. Most optimal way to do these levels is to stay low until you need to go high. For some reason, the camera likes to force you to go in a different direction, so you gotta play with that as well. Alright, so here's a good mind boost setup. That wasn't a very good mind boost. You kind of saw it there, but it didn't give you as much speed as I wanted to. If you get really good angles, it will rocket you forward. It's amazing. Good setup here. There you go, you kind of saw it there. I had maintained a lot of speed for a bit of time there. But of course, that does make your health go down, so you've gotta play with your health as well, and balance between mind boosting and health management. Luckily, the levels are generous and give you health every once in a while. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. There's a Galaxian. If we were doing 100%, we could collect those. Basically do mazes. Okay. Oh, there was a setup there, but I was too late with the rebel for the spin. And then the level. Now we're on to Shark Attack, which is more or less the same, just a bit more hazardous. I'm thinking when they were developing this game, they didn't really have that many ideas for this kind of world, so they just threw stuff together and basically did carbon copies of things. Not the best, but we deal with it. They at least mixed up the paths a bit, so we have that going for us. As you can see, there's this minefield full of old junk. What's interesting with this level, if you're collecting tokens, every single token is in a chest, so you have to get fruit. Luckily we're not doing that. Also, another interesting tidbit about these two water levels, this one and the previous one. In the PAL version, you go considerably faster. For some reason, they really wanted to up the swim speed. So when you do a boost, when you press B, it launches you a lot farther than it does in this version. Unfortunately, PAL has some other issues that makes it overall slower, which is why we play with this version. Otherwise, if we played a PAL, it's probably a free 30-35 seconds. But what's nice about this game is, or this version anyway, when you get 100%, it doesn't make you wait on the level select screen. For some reason, in other versions, it likes to celebrate you got 100% by making you stay on the level pad. We don't like that, so we play this version and skip that. That was really bad timing. There was a setup there, really solid setup, but I guess I had mistimed my boosts and didn't get there what I wanted to. It was unfortunate, but oh well. Hey, going at the end. That made up for it a little bit. Not too bad. Now the third level. Oh man, this level. This one's fun. You're in a submarine. You think, oh, it's cool, it's a submarine. You get to be underwater. And you get to shoot missiles. It's so fun. Problem is, it's an auto-scroller. You can't speed up or slow down or anything. Two, it's randomly generated. If you were doing collectible categories with this game, you're basically living up to RNGesus on what you're gonna get. 99% of the time it will give you every single fruit, which is good. Every once in a while it will forget an apple and not spawn it, which is a bit silly. And the tokens can be very random as well. Basically you get fruit or tokens by killing these guys, and then they'll spawn in the water as well. Nothing really too exciting here for any percent, you just whizzed right through the level. We do get power-ups. We'll get one of them in about a minute or so. There it is. We got the smart bomb. Basically I can just press X and it'll destroy everything on screen. It also acts as an additional health, so I want to keep it, just in case things start going haywire. And if you look over on my splits, you can see, oh wait, you're in this level for almost 8 minutes. Why yes, you'd be correct. It's an 8-minute auto-scroller. So, honestly, this level is probably your best chance for donations. For some reason, they decided to loop. Okay, so a nice development tidbit about this level. It was originally just going to be 4 minutes. Because one reason we know this, there's something called time attack, or time trials on these levels. Basically, you collect a stopwatch and it'll start a timer. What's interesting about this level is that if you start it and don't collect anything at all, once you get about halfway through the level, if you die and respawn, or no, wait, no, you can't die and respawn, never mind. But if you keep going and not collecting anything, a second stopwatch will appear. So, we've determined that... No, if you skip the first stopwatch, the second one will appear if you don't collect anything. That made us think, oh, they just looped the level again for some reason. This could have been a lot shorter. But it was at the end of their development cycle and they decided to do that. Couldn't tell you why. To us, it's a pain in the butt. But, oh well. We got some tokens. Hey, we got 10 tokens. Tokens in this game are used to unlock games in the arcade, which was in the very first level, the little hub world we had at the beginning. There's a little arcade there. You can play Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, etc., etc. Should be coming up to our second power-up. Right after this guy. No, it's the next one up. About 4.5 minutes in. There it is. We got the fire gun, or I like to call them the pew-pew guns. It's very overpowered, and you can destroy everything with it. And with both of these power-ups, I basically have 5 health before I get to empty. Which is pretty nice. It only happens in this level and then the boss. We should talk about the boss a bit. So the boss, the gigantic whale, and it's controlled by all 4 ghosts. Now that we've gone through the first 4 worlds and destroyed all their machines, they're like, oh man, we need to band up together and really put a stop to Pac-Man. They're in a gigantic whale submarine thing, and what we gotta do is destroy all the propellers off the back of it. What we can do, it's set up into 4 propellers. Each one has 9 hits. So, what we tried to figure out was, okay, is there a way we can cycle these together and destroy them all at once? And the answer was, eventually, yes. We can one-cycle the whale. However, it's very precise and requires a very crazy setup. Well, not crazy, but a very careful setup. That if you screw up, it basically messes with the timing of the boss. And what's interesting, depending on how long you're in the overworld for, determines where the boss is when you enter the level. And once we actually get there, I will demonstrate that a little bit more. What's very convenient is that we found a setup to where we could mash our way through the overworld text and get there fast, and still be able to use it. We don't lose any time with like waiting around for good setups or anything like that. However, if I wait too long, then the setup will be messed up, and I'd basically have to exit the level, wait the amount of time I need to, and go back in, which I'm obviously not going to do. But if you ever want to practice the boss doing that, then you have to wait for cycles, or wait for the setup to align itself. Got about a minute left. I guess I'll just finish it off and I'll just let it right out. We got all the oranges, sweet. I think I missed some cherries. We didn't get all the cherries, sadly. That should be the last checkpoint. I wonder if these guys have any more tokens, or if we've already gone through them all. Sometimes this level can be a real douche and not give you tokens. Or they'll spawn at the very end, so like you're worrying about if you're gonna get them or not for completion. Alright, so at the very end, I want to make sure the right propeller is out first. Okay? So that way the left one will come out first when we enter the boss. Oh, we had 97%, not bad. We missed one token. Well, on a sub. Oh boy. Alright, so the setup. Get past these first two waves. And basically I have to deal 8 hits to each propeller and then do the final blow. Yes! Alright. Awesome. I got it. That's good. That's a very tight trick. And I love that I got it in this. Alright, on to the next world, which is the final world. A wet celebration after getting one cycle by going roller skating. It's a pseudo auto-scroller where you just, for the most time, we're just holding up, but we're doing some interesting platforming with roller skating. This level is probably the most well-designed level to get you used to these roller skates. So it's split up into 4 sections. This first section is very easy. There's nothing going on. We're just getting used to jumping and stuff. After we hit the checkpoint, introduces collapsing platforms. But you don't want to stand on these for too long, otherwise that water below us is insta-death. We want to be very careful. There is one little or I wouldn't call it an exploit, but a little bug that's in the game. It's called butt bounce storage. Basically, when you do a butt bounce, you're tapping double A. However, if you do a kickflip just a few frames after you hit double A, you'll store that butt bounce that you just did. So the next time you jump, it'll activate the butt bounce. Now this level is very notorious for doing that, because you're constantly jumping and kickflipping to keep your height down. That's something I did not mention at the beginning of this, is that when you kickflip, it cancels your upward momentum and brings you back down. We want to keep this so we can stay low and stay on these platforms in correct positions. Then we're into the final section. There's very tight jumps with collapsing platforms. Not the funnest. Also, this level is a pain in the butt to 100% as well. That pillar back there is very notorious for killing you easily. It falls very quickly. If you ledge grab the right side of it, you're dead. There's not even task can bring you back. I get some crazy jumps at the final area here. Nothing too difficult for us though. Oh, I think I was gonna get that. Nice. I make it? Yeah, no ledge grab. Alright. that last jump there was notorious for making it to get a ledge grab, which every ledge grab wastes a second, as well as Ghost. Alright, night crawling. This is a cycle-based level, but basically you're just trying to catch a good cycle at the end of the level. Nothing too crazy. So make sure we just go fast and get there quickly enough. It's a little bit lenient, but you should be alright for the most part. This is the only level in the game, for any percent, that requires you to collect fruit. And I will show you why. Up here. We kill the skeleton for its cherry. And this chest right here, you have to have a fruit to open that chest. Same with that one there. So you saw there it used our cherry and an apple. We collected the apple at the very beginning of the level, and the skeleton gave us the cherry. And that's all we need. There's another apple chest at the end here. But we can use the same apple. As long as we have one fruit of that. Oh, there's also that cherry one I forgot about. Damn. And be careful of those guys. If an enemy, or if one of those ghosts hits you with a projectile while you're rev rolling, Pac-Man will snap to the direction of which that projectile was drawn. Which, if that happens right before you let go, you're gonna go somewhere completely different where you didn't want to go. Which, most of the time is just annoying, but sometimes it can kill you. So here's the cycle we wanted to catch. Very nice. On a global timer, so basically when you start the level, we're good. We'll bounce down there and we're good to go. Very nice. This next level is very fun. If anybody's played this casually, you know how much of a nightmare this level is. It's a gigantic maze with various buttons and switches and back chains, etc., etc. Well, we're just gonna go here and skip it. Very nice skip. We basically get ourselves over to here. We do a precise rev roll here. Nice. We have to activate that button, which activates this pack chain, which in turn activates this one, and we get right to the end. You wouldn't have to deal with any shenanigans with this level whatsoever, other than hitting that one switch, which is amazing. Now, if you hit A at the perfect timing there, you can jump out of the pack chain and land right into the end level area here. And that basically skips that waiting, but I mistimed it and butt bounced instead, which stinks. Alright, and now we're to the final boss, Booker! Or as I like to call, Kevin. Because it's not a scary name at all. Because he's not that scary. Basically what we can do stun locks. Oh, I missed. Dang it. Alright. And what we do an intentional death and reset after we do the first phase. And go for the second phase. Same as the first. There we go. And the third phase is a little bit tricky. We can only do the first two, and then we have to chase. Timing ends on the fourth hit on this phase. Oh, I missed! I missed again! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, I gotta wait. That stinks. Come here, you. There we go. That's the unfortunate thing about that is sometimes you miss, because you get really scared doing it. But yeah, that was Pac-Man World 2 90%. Very nice. I'll have an estimate of about, I would say, 47 minutes. Because sometimes the deaths can cause a lot of time loss. So I want to be very careful just in case. But yeah, that was Pac-Man World 2 90%. Thank you guys for watching.